Chapter 1. The End and the Beginning. The divorce lawyer's office smelled of expensive leather and disappointment. Nathan sat rigidly in the chair, his hands clasped together so tightly his knuckles had turned white. Maya sat beside him, but she might as well have been on another continent. Her eyes were fixed on some distant point beyond the window, her posture perfect, her expression carved from ice. "Maya," Nathan said softly, turning toward her, "are you sure about this? We could try." She didn't even blink. It was as if he hadn't spoken at all. The door swung open, and Mr. Peterson, the divorce attorney, walked in with a folder tucked under his arm. He was a middle-aged man with graying temples and the practiced sympathy of someone who'd presided over hundreds of broken marriages. "Mr. and Mrs. Turner," he greeted them with a professional nod, settling into his chair. "I've reviewed all the documents. This is a straightforward no-fault divorce. No children, no shared property disputes. Mrs. Turner has waived any claim to alimony." Nathan felt something twist in his chest. Of course she had. She wanted nothing from him. Not his money, not his time, not even his name for another day. "All that's required now are your signatures," Mr. Peterson continued, sliding 2 documents across the polished mahogany desk. "Once these are filed with the court, the marriage will be legally dissolved in 60 days. Maya reached for the pen immediately, her signature flowing across the page with practiced elegance. 12 years together ended in 3 seconds of ink on paper. Nathan stared at the document in front of him. His hand trembled as he picked up the pen. "Nathan," Mr. Peterson prompted gently. He signed. The pen felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "Congratulations," Mr. Peterson said, though the word felt obscene. "You're officially separated." Outside the office building, Nathan stood on the sidewalk, watching Maya adjust the strap of her designer purse. The afternoon sun caught in her dark hair, making it shine like silk. She was breathtakingly beautiful. She always had been. Even now, even in this moment, looking at her made his heart ache. "Maya, wait," he called as she turned to leave. Could we maybe stay friends? I know things didn't work out, but we spent 12 years together. That has to mean something, right?" She finally looked at him then, really looked at him, and what he saw in her eyes was worse than hatred. It was nothing. Complete and utter indifference. "Nathan, I need you to understand something," she said, her voice cool and measured. "I want to move forward from this point in my life. I never want to come back to it. I never want to be reminded of it. That includes you." The words hit him like physical blows. Before he could respond, a sleek black Mercedes pulled up to the curb. The door opened, and out stepped Jason Williams, dressed in a suit that probably cost more than Nathan made in 3 months. Jason's smile was white and predatory as he walked straight to Maya and wrapped his arm around her waist with possessive familiarity. "There's my girl," Jason said, pulling her close. Then his eyes slid to Nathan and his smile turned sharp. "Oh, Turner. All done playing husband?" Nathan's jaw clenched. "Jason." "You know, I've been waiting 12 years for this day," Jason continued, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. 12 years watching you drag down the most incredible woman I've ever known. You never deserved Maya. She needs a real man. Someone with ambition, with prospects, with actual money in the bank." He laughed, cruel and loud. "Not a loser who couldn't even give her a decent life." "Jason, let's just go," Maya said quietly. Though Nathan noticed she didn't contradict anything Jason had said. She didn't defend him, not even a little. "Yeah, let's get out of here. This place reeks of mediocrity," Jason said, guiding Maya toward the car. He paused at the door, turning back with a grin. "Oh, and Turner? Don't bother calling, texting, or even thinking about her. She's mine now. She always should have been." Nathan stood frozen as the Mercedes drove away, watching until it disappeared around the corner. His hands were shaking, his vision blurred. He didn't know if it was from anger or heartbreak, or both. The bus ride back took an hour. Nathan stared out the window the entire time, not really seeing the city passing by. When he finally reached the small house he'd been living in for the past 2 years, Maya's family's property technically, he noticed something wrong immediately. His clothes were scattered across the front yard. All of them. Shirts hanging from bushes, pants trampled in the grass, his old work shoes sitting in the dirt. The front door opened and Natalie Bennett, his mother-in-law, stepped out. Her arms were crossed, her expression one of triumphant disgust. "You don't live here anymore," she announced, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Pack up your rags and get out." Nathan felt numb. "Natalie, I just need a few days to find—" "You've had 12 years of free rides living off my daughter's family name," she snapped. "You should be thanking me for letting you stay this long. Honestly, I don't know why Maya waited so long to get rid of you. A useless freeloader like you, it's embarrassing." She actually looked happy, relieved, like she was finally taking out the trash. Nathan bent down and started gathering his clothes in silence. There was no point arguing. There had never been a point arguing with the Bennett family. Except for Maya's grandfather, they'd all hated him from the beginning. Poor background, no connections, no pedigree, just a disgrace who'd somehow trapped their precious daughter. He stuffed everything into 2 garbage bags and walked away without looking back. The park was empty in the late afternoon. Nathan sat on a bench near the pond, his 2 bags at his feet, and stared at the water. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink that felt too beautiful for how he felt inside. Where did it all go wrong? He'd saved her grandfather's life. The old man had given him Maya's hand in gratitude, and Nathan he'd thought maybe it was fate. Maybe they'd grow to love each other. Maybe hard work and devotion would be enough. But it hadn't been. Not even close. He'd tried everything. He'd worked multiple jobs. He'd been respectful to her family even when they spat on him. He'd given Maya space when she was distant and support when she needed it. He'd loved her with everything he had, and it still wasn't enough. Could he have done anything differently? Could he have somehow earned her love, earned her family's respect? Nathan dropped his head into his hands. He didn't have answers. All he had were 2 garbage bags of clothes and nowhere to go. The sun had set completely by the time Nathan noticed the van. It pulled up slowly beside the park bench, and before Nathan could process what was happening, 2 men in black grabbed him from behind. He tried to fight, tried to shout, but something, a cloth, chemicals, was pressed to his face, and the world went dark. When consciousness returned, Nathan's head was pounding. His wrists were bound behind his back. Cold wind whipped around him, and he could hear water rushing somewhere below. He was on a bridge. 2 men in black stood nearby, silent and faceless in the darkness. But in front of him, illuminated by the van's headlights, stood 3 people he recognized: Jason Williams, arms crossed and smirking; Marcus Bennett, Maya's cousin, looking uncomfortable but saying nothing; and Evelyn Bennett, Maya's grandmother, her elderly face set in lines of cold contempt. "Nathan Turner," Evelyn said, her voice like gravel. "You've been a stain on my family's name for 12 years. A disgrace. A parasite." Nathan's heart was racing. What is this? What are you doing?" "I'm tired of your presence," she continued, stepping closer. "Even divorced, you'll still exist. Still be out there somewhere, a reminder of Maya's biggest mistake. You'll try to contact her, to worm your way back into her life. I know your type." "I would never. I don't care," Evelyn said flatly. "The Bennett name is worth more than your pathetic life, and I will not let you tarnish it any longer." She nodded to the men in black. They grabbed Nathan and hauled him to the edge of the bridge. He could see the dark water below, churning and violent. "Wait!" Nathan screamed. "Please, I'll disappear. I'll never contact her again, please." But Evelyn's face showed no mercy. Goodbye, Nathan Turner. They threw him over. The fall seemed to last forever and no time at all. Nathan hit the water hard, the cold knocking the air from his lungs. His bound hands made it impossible to swim. Water filled his mouth, his lungs, pulling him down into darkness. "This is how I die," he thought distantly. "After everything. This is how it ends." The world faded to black. Slap. Nathan's eyes flew open. Hot, stinging pain blazed across his cheek. A woman was standing over him, her face twisted in fury. "How long are you going to sleep, you lazy good-for-nothing?" Nathan blinked, disoriented. That voice. He knew that voice. Get up. Do you think you can just lie around all day while everyone else works? You're useless. Utterly useless. Natalie, his mother-in-law. But she looked younger, less gray in her hair, fewer lines around her mouth. Nathan sat up slowly, his mind reeling. He was on the couch, a small room he hadn't seen in years. The apartment. The cramped apartment they'd lived in before. His eyes snapped to the wall where a small TV was playing the morning news. The date in the corner read, March 15th, 2018. Are you listening to me? Natalie shrieked. Your wife is already up and ready for work, and you're still in bed like some kind of... The bedroom door opened, and there she was. Maya. But not the cold, distant Maya who'd signed the divorce papers. This Maya was younger, softer somehow. Her hair was longer, falling past her shoulders. She was dressed in a business suit, professional and elegant, and she was breathtakingly beautiful. Their eyes met. Nathan's heart stopped. He was 22 years old again. And his wife who would grow to hate him, who would divorce him, whose family would murder him, was standing in the doorway of their bedroom, 10 years in the past. Nathan opened his mouth, but no words came out. He'd been given a second chance. But what was he going to do with it?